Hello, everybody. American Hammers TV, special Sunday episode. I love these Sunday episodes because we can bring in some people, some guests from the UK. So today we have the one, the only, the myth, the legend, Graham. Graham, what's going on, Graham, from West Ham Fan TV?
I'm very good, thanks, Tim. Thanks for having me on, mate. Thanks for your kind words.
Man, it's a pleasure. You guys have been fantastic to us. We had Nikki on, we've had Ryan, we've had Dan. We've also had, we had Scott on. I mean, it's been great. We get to hear a bit of your background, and which you don't really get to hear that much of when you guys are doing post-match pine or the fan cams or any of that stuff.
Talking about the game, aren't we? So yeah.
Exactly. So we're basically introducing you to the American audience, even though 60% of our audience is from the UK. So, but we got people from Australia and everything else. Hey guys, you mind handling the chat room for me, like pulling anything up? Could you have access to that or no?
Yeah, I've got it on here.
Okay, cool. So my co-host today is Gaz, who's residing in New Mexico. Good old Clovis, New Mexico, near Texas. It's some good times. He's looking for other hammers to move over there and join him in the pubs, so he can start rooting for some West Ham instead of driving 6 or 7 hours away to the nearest supporters group.
I think what I'd actually prefer to do is move out of New Mexico, because the town that I live in, it's not a good area, Graham, to be honest. And there's literally it's not. It's desolate. It's boring. There's one bar in the town that we live in, and it's not very good. So sorry if there's anybody from New Mexico that's watching this. Kelly, shit.
All right. Well, there's a couple of things I got to mention before we get cracking. First and foremost, drinkwaredesign.com. They make these beautiful shiny. Look how shiny that is. These gorgeous mugs, man. And
they look good in my cupboard.
They you know what? You'll have to send me your address, and we'll send you one. Also, we need to sell just 2 more scarves. I guess we miscalculated our figures. Basically, we had a pre-order for scarves, American Hammers TV scarves. They're gorgeous. We've had the pre-order going on for a while. I thought we only had 5 left, and luckily Wally from the chat room from Twitter, Wally World, he bought 5 of them, thinking that he was going to be helping us buy the last 5, so we could place the order. But we miscalculated, so that we need to sell 2 more scarves, and then we can place the order, and then within 4 to 6 weeks, you'll all have your scarves. And then we're going to have some stuff to give away. Some of those scarves we'll give away as well. Once we hit our 1,000 subscriber mark, we're at 8 something right now, like 812, 813, somewhere around there. In just 8 months' time, thanks to the help of people like West Ham Fan TV. So that said, we start off our interviews, Graham, finding out how on earth did you get into West Ham?
Well, it's I suppose like most fans, it's family connections. My dad and my uncles and my aunt are all West Ham. Grew up about 20 minutes from the ground. So I used to go, like, when I was sort of 4 or 5, used to go to a few reserve games with my dad. And then went to my first team game in 1983.
You remember who it was you saw?
I do. In the build-up to the game, because I've been to a few of the reserve games with my dad, and it was like 4-4, 4-3. So as a kid, you think they're all going to be like that.
Yeah.
And on the way to the ground, my dad's going to me, right, this is the first team. There's not going to be loads of goals. Might be 0-0, might be 1-0. And we beat Bury 10-0.
Oh, jeez.
So
God.
a good first game to go to. But then it's only downwards from there, because you think they're all going to be like that, but wasn't the case.
10-0. What a game to go to, man. 10-0.
No, yeah. The first game.
First game I ever went to was when we played Leicester City at Upton Park, and Tony Cottee scored for Leicester. I think he scored twice that game, and I think we won. Was it 4-3? I think we won. It was in the mid to late 80s, I think it was. That was the first game I ever went to.
First game I ever went to was a 0-0 draw 2 years ago, the end of the 17-18 season against Man U. And it looked like it was against their reserves because, that late in the season, with just 2 games left. They really played a lot of the youngsters, and we had David Moyes as manager, and boy, that was dreary and drab. But I was still there for the last game of the home season, which we smashed Allardyce's Everton. That was fantastic, 3-1. Yeah. So besides that, so where did you grow up? You say?
East Ham.
Okay, in East Ham.
East Ham's about a 20-minute walk from the old ground, from Upton Park.
So you're old enough to remember East Ham United?
East Ham United.
Yeah, just kidding. Oh man,
there was a team called East Ham United. Funnily enough,
there was. Yeah, the green, and they had hammers for the logo too.
I played a couple of games for them early 90s.
Really?
Yeah, when I was about 17, 18, many years ago.
So growing up, were there, as a kid, when you first started going to the matches and such, were there any players that stood out to you as your favorites? Like somebody you would idolize or try to emulate?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was lucky enough to see Alan Devonshire, Billy Bonds, Trevor Brooking, Ray Stewart, players like that, Alvin Martin. But I remember the first one. I was about 9 or 10, and I remember the first player. It was McAvenny.
Nice.
Frank McAvenny was my first sort of. I mean, players like Billy Bonds and that. They're up here. They're God at West Ham. But Frank McAvenny was the first one that I really sort of at 9 or 10 years old sort of idolised. So,
and you said, and you played as a kid. What position did you play?
I played left back or centre back. Occasionally in midfield if required, but normally in the back four, left back mainly. All left foot, right foot's only for standing on.
I think it was Scott. I'm not sure who it was, but we usually whenever we have you guys on, we'll ask out of the lot of you, who's the best player, and I think it was Scott that said you. I think Scott mentioned.
He's very kind. He's very kind. So the thing is, Scott, Ryan, and Nicky were all good players. Nicky played up front. The thing with Nicky didn't score tap-ins. It was a 30-yard screamer or nothing.
It was a worldie, yeah.
Always in the top corner. Ryan. You watch Ryan play. He's like a mini Perlo. And Scott was. I said, but when Scott used to play, till he broke his leg, and he had to sort of jack him play. And he was really quick, Scott. He was very fast. So yeah, he's a bit modest. He won't admit that he was a decent player, Scott. But he's just being modest.
You guys still get together and kick the ball around at all, or? I mean, I know everybody's getting older and stuff, but and you guys
I still play because, as you know, me and Scott run Thames Ironworks on Sundays, and I think I had to play in about 12, 13 games last year.
For the Thames Ironworks.
What's that? For Thames Ironworks. Yeah. I played about 12, 13. Scott joins in training now and again, but last time he joined in training, he popped his calf.
Oh no!
Put paid to that one. Ryan could still play. He plays a bit now and again. But Nicky's got he had a bad accident when he was younger, and his knees so he can't play anymore. But I'd still love to, I'm sure.
I know, yeah.
So we have a question in the chat about the Thames Ironworks from Kent Hammers. It says, Graham, how are these ironworks on? I'm assuming he's saying how the Thames Ironworks getting on. Yeah,
we've had last 2 seasons. We've got back-to-back promotions.
Yeah.
The last 2 seasons. Had our first game of the new season today. Didn't go very well. We got beat, but we had about 3 or 4 players missing. One of them our goalkeeper. But it's going well. It's heading in the right direction.
It's going to be tough though, because it's very similar to out here, like the Sunday leagues in the state. Well, they're state leagues out here versus county leagues, I guess, where they're Saturdays or Sundays, and getting people to commit, because these guys aren't getting paid. They're doing it for fun, but at the same time, it is competitive though. It really is. But to get people to show up on a daily basis, I mean, I follow, almost all of the teams in the Essex Sunday League and the Corinthian Leagues and so on Twitter. And I saw like 2 or 3 of them post even today that, we were missing 3 or 4 guys, a couple of our stars are hurt. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be a thing,
Yeah, I mean, this time of the year, because a lot of people are on holiday still. But once like sort of September, we get into October, then we start getting more settled and a regular side out. So it's just we've got a few people on holiday. A couple of people are injured at the moment.
Yeah.
But hoping to bounce back next week.
I wasn't on the full show with Scott when you guys were talking about Thames Ironworks, but now that I have you on here, let's get your story behind it. So how did it all start, and what was the thought process behind it, and how difficult is it, or how easy is it to actually just get a team and put it into a league out there?
It's how it all started initially was that Nicky had been saying that, he'd had an idea to start a sort of grassroots Sunday football side, because that's how we all met. Playing Saturday football together. I mean, because I've known Scott at 21 years. And then when we went to another team, Newham United, that's when we met Nicky and Ryan. So that's probably about 17 years ago. So Nicky had this idea because we'd all been like such great friends through football. He wanted to set something up, a grassroots team where we could have like a community sort of spirit and, bring people together and all that sort of thing. And then initially I knew that he was thinking about it, and Scott said to me one Saturday, he said, why don't you manage the Thames Ironworks side? And I said, I'll think about it. I said, I'll let you know. And he phoned me Monday morning. He went, you're the manager? I've spoken to Nicky. He said, yeah. So that was it. And from then, I mean, normally you need a good sort of 5-6 months preparation to get your league fees paid and your affiliations around. We had about 3 months to do it, but we found a ground for our old Saturday team, and then it was just a case like we held trials, got players over, plus players we knew from when we played that were still playing. It's quite expensive. You do need quite a bit of money behind you. I mean, we were lucky. We managed to get some grants, which really helped us get off the ground. So, yes, it does take a lot of money, but it's well worth it.
Yeah, I'm gonna one of these days I'm gonna end up doing an episode. It doesn't really relate to West Ham though, but at the same time, I want to do an episode about my experiences from that. So back in 2013, I had lost my job, which I had a factory, which was a union job that ended up getting outsourced to Mexico, and I said I'm never gonna do anything I don't want to do ever again. And I just started snowballing this idea. I want a pro club in my city because I live in technically a city, but it's really not that large. Maybe like 150,000 people. That doesn't. The demographics are Portuguese, Brazilian, Greek, and all these nationalities that the first sport is. Football. So I said, I want a pro team here. I want a pro team, and then eventually I managed to figure out how to get it as a semi-pro team. I couldn't afford a pro team because in America there's no promotion relegation. You don't just throw a team in a Sunday league and then grow up the ladder. There's however much money you have, that's where you can go. Like you can go to straight to Division 2 if you have the money. But I don't think anybody has that kind of money. Dude, it's crazy. I can go into the whole detail about all the different figures to talk about. But anyway, I put a team in the 4th division. We won 1 game all season. But it was a national league though. It wasn't just it was pretty cool. And I spent all my time and energy on the promotion of it, the marketing of it. I had no idea about I never even played. I think I played maybe 1 game my whole life. When I was 9 years old, I played soccer. Had a problem with the coaches and the mosquitoes and everything else. I couldn't stand soccer when I was a kid. So it wasn't until I got in my adult life that I fell in love with West Ham. I'm like, I want a team here. So anyway, it is similar out here where we also had a couple. Our reserve teams played in the Sunday leagues. So yeah, the most expensive thing is like field fees.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there's only grants out here for youth programs. There's no grants out here for adult teams. And we jumped into the adult and said, we'll do youth as it goes. But that was the dumbest thing we've ever done. But no, anyway, long story short, man, it was, I've built like 3 different clubs out here. One of them is still around to this day, which is kind of cool, even though they changed names, but the entity is still here. But it's a lot of work, man. It really is. Yeah. But if you find like trades for services, with businesses to help, give you the equipment or give you the uniforms or help you, pay for the field for having, that type of thing. Yeah. You don't really have to spend a dime, but you got to surround yourself with the people who are passionate about it. And as long as the players are having fun, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. And putting, wearing the badge and having fun doing it.
Yeah. But, I mean, as well, I forgot to mention as well, but Nicky had set a GoFundMe to the app, and people sort of contributed money, and that really helped us, get the club off the ground as well. So that was.
We follow it here. Really, I mean, all of us. Yeah, all of us follow that, and which is really cool to see that you guys are still doing it, and to see back-to-back promotions. Yeah. That's got to be so thrilling, so exciting.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, our first season we weren't expecting to do as well as we did, because it's like you just said, first season for new clubs is always a tough one. But I say we finished runners up in the league, won the cup, and then got promoted, won the league last year. So yeah, the first 2 seasons we've had a lot of success. It was not unexpected, but we hadn't thought we were going to do as well as we had initially.
Yeah.
But just because it, like you say, it's the first season, always the toughest. So yeah, we're very, very pleased with the way things are going.
Do you have any standout players? Anybody? Any people who are like your superstars?
We do. Our goalkeeper, he got the Golden Glove award for the whole league last season.
Wow.
Goalkeeper, yeah, he's
that's cool,
very
man.
good, very good. Yeah, but I mean, we've got like all the players at the club are, they're fantastic. They're,
of course.
Really, we've got 2 sides. We've got a reserve side as well.
Oh wow.
So yeah, started them up last year, so that's going well. So I think we're going to have two strong sides this year.
Are they all West Ham supporters as well? Sounds like a silly question.
The majority of them are. But so when we started, it was mainly West Ham fans. But obviously, we've expanded the club a little, into another team. We're just taking players that want to come and play. So we've got players that support all clubs. So
got any Spurs in there?
No, we haven't. No I think there's a couple of Millwall in there.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
but anyway, nowadays, yeah, man. So yeah, that's I guess that's a good amount on Thames Ironworks. But so you said you've known Scott for quite a while. How did you know the other guys? Did you bring Scott in, or did Scott bring you? How did the whole you meeting the guys from West Ham Fan TV or forming West Ham TV? How did you get involved?
What, so like from when I first knew?
Yeah, when you first got involved.
Yeah,
with you ground up, or?
Yeah, I mean Scott. He's played for a team called Canning Town, and I played for his brother manages as well. And I was playing for his brother's team on a Sunday, and then sent back going over to play for them on the Saturday. And then that's how I got to know Scott, playing for Canning Town. And then we left, and his brother started up a team, Newham United. We went to play for them, and I think Scott knew Nicky through a friend, and he come over with Ryan to play for Newham United, and that's how we all sort of knew each other, because there was a big social side to the club as well. Like we had a clubhouse and that sort of thing, so we all just sort of gelled over the football.
Yeah.
And I say, me and Nicky actually work together now as well. So worked together for about 12 years now.
No way. Wow.
But
what do you guys do?
conveyance. You know when I don't know what it's like over there, but when you buy your house and you have to get all the searches done, like your
people come and check to make
sure.
sure.
You know the packs that the estate agents and solicitors get. Yeah, we do all that sort of thing. So.
Oh, nice.
But with regards to the channel, Nicky had the idea, and then it sort of been talking to us about it and that sort of thing. And then one Sunday, like me, Nicky, Scott, and Ryan went over to Nicky's house, went to the cafe down the road, over cups of tea and bacon sandwiches. Nicky laid down the idea for the channel, and it just grew from there, really.
It did.
So,
definitely grew from there, man. Yeah. You guys are doing awesome.
So Nicky put a lot of, well, they all the boys do, they'll put a lot of. I mean, I'm not on it so much nowadays because of the running the football club, because I'm like treasurer as well and sort of assistant club secretary and manager. So that takes up a lot of my time. So that's why I'm not on the channel as much now.
You're definitely missed. I can tell you that much. People notice when you're not there. So everybody who's in the chat room right now, watching this live, I see there's at least 17 people in the chat room right now. I show your love for Graham, so he can see that we're not joking around. You're definitely,
thanks, guys.
It's funny. Everybody who watches West Ham Fan TV. I mean, we love everybody, but everybody has their favorites as well. Just like any other show, really. You watch another show. I mean, you have your favorite characters and whatnot, and people enjoy each and every one of you, and we all notice when someone's not quite there as much. But same thing goes with the guests that you guys have on fan camps. So we've got our regulars as well. That people are like, hey, what happened to so and so?
Yeah, we see that on the like if someone's not there for a couple of weeks, it might only be on holiday, but we see it in the comments, like where's, like if Dom's away or whatever, then people notice it. So
I love Dom, man. He cracks me up.
Yeah, I always know, like especially if it's been a bad performance and that, and I'm talking to him like off camera, and I'm going, oh, this is gonna be a good one.
I know, I love. We've had him on the show too, and unfortunately, he had a bad internet connection that night. But we originally had him slated to be on like maybe a month and a half before, and the amount of blowback we got, man, that was telling us, oh man, I'm going to unsubscribe if you have this guy on. So there's love and there's hate, but we had that many more people saying that they were so excited for the interview, though. So that was fantastic. So you either love him or you hate him, and that goes with some of the other guests too. I mean, Nick Tucker is another one that we've had on a couple times. So I love Nick.
He's one of my favorite people. Good guy, Nick.
Really 100%. But at the same time, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and neither am I, and neither is anybody else really in our show. But
was that where do Ironworks play at home?
Yeah, where's your home?
We're just hopefully going to be over Cave Road, where we have been. But it's just we've got to renegotiate the pitch fees. So hopefully we'll be back over there again. Cave Road / Southern Road.
Yeah, because remember,
in Plastone.
Yeah, because I was saying, it's Keith especially, but there's also other people in the chat right now, and also a lot of the people are going to see this video either tonight or tomorrow. They're not going to see it live, but the majority of our viewers are from London or from the UK. So they might want to show up and watch some matches.
Yeah. That'd be good if people do. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. We're not quite at halftime yet, but I'll just run in the chat room real quick and say thanks to some people that are in the chat room. So Kent Hammers, I love seeing your comments. Love following you on Facebook and everything. Thanks for popping in. Ray Borum, we've interviewed him. He's actually in Liverpool, but he's a West Ham supporter. He's actually from, I think, Dagenham, if I'm not mistaken.
Dan, far from me then.
Yeah, Dan's mom is in the chat room. Penny.
Penny's always in there, man.
Penny's always in the chat room.
Yeah, Dan's mom's very nice. She's very nice, Dan's mom.
She's awesome, Mitch. Listen, we'll have shows at most of our shows are at 9 p.m. Eastern time, which is about 2 a.m. UK, and she'll be in the chat room with us. I love it. She's awesome. Yeah, so I guess who else is in here? Keith Pimer. Sorry, he's been in from time to time. Usually, it's tough for, I guess, Keith, also from the UK to watch our shows live. But appreciate you being in the chat room, brother. Gary Smithhurst. He did say something earlier that I want to kind of touch on and clarify real quick. He did say you guys needed to get an American Hammers 11 together and challenge a West Ham English social media / YouTube 11. Slightly ambitious, maybe do to logistics. Yes, that would be. But I'd be all for it. Something like that. We've also tinkered with the idea of doing kind of what you guys are doing, since I've run a couple clubs in my past to kind of get an American Hammers type of run organization over here at some point, or even over there, because we have a lot of people that actually work with us that live over there and could help us from day to day or whatnot. Because my dream has always been to run a club again. I want to run a club and stay running a club. At some point. I also told Scott, if you guys need any help, I'd be more than happy to help too, because I love it. I enjoy it more than anything else, trying to find ways to, to get those Travis services so we don't have to spend, a dime out of our own pocket and make it easy and make the players feel like they're playing for a professional club, even though they're not. They're playing, having fun. I just enjoy that more than anything. So Gabe's in the chat room. Gabe said something about, I would be the James Tompkins on the team, since I refer to him every single episode. James Tompkins, everybody drink. All right, there you go. My favorite player of all time. That's why they're saying that, Graham. I know it's kind of bizarre, but
he was good for us. He was good.
That's what I'm saying. It's the whole fact that he was an academy player.
It's nice when you bring them through from kids, and they make it to the first team.
And I love defenders first and foremost. Like, I gravitate toward all my favorite players are usually defenders, like center backs especially. And he could also score. He was just that guy, the homegrown guy, not like someone who wasn't not homegrown, but an academy player.
Yeah.
Looks like Sam's in the chat room. I appreciate that, Sam. And John Nolan, one of our co-hosts, who's English, that lives in Philly, or King of Prussia in Pennsylvania. So thanks, guys, for interacting in the chat room. I really appreciate that. It's about almost the halfway mark. So let's get your input on some West Ham news. I'm going to pull this up in just a second. Basically, what we do is we just Google West Ham, click on news, and then if anything pops out to us, we'll discuss it. Really. So, oh boy, the ladies. Have you seen any of the? Well, first of all, have any of you guys from your group, even the West Ham Fan TV group, have you guys caught any West Ham women's matches or?
Funny enough, I was watching a bit of today's game actually, because it was on BT Sport.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Look, they lost 2-1, but it was. I mean, the Arsenal ladies side are a very good side.
Always. Yeah.
But I mean, 2-1. We was in the game, so it was. Onwards and upwards.
Yeah, I'm just glad that they're actually starting to, not starting to. They started last season, but they're actually investing in the club, and they're trying to make something of it, which is great for all the ladies out there and all over the world, really, who want to play for West Ham. Gives them an opportunity to play at Rush Green. They seem to have pimped that place out quite a bit. It looks really nice. The pictures that they.
I live not far from there. Whenever you drive past it, it's because they've got like massive trees along the fence line, so you can't really see into it. But it's from the little bit I've seen through the gate, it does look nice over there.
Yeah. Here's something that we haven't really talked about on the show yet. Did you guys hear about the whole pay cut that Javier Hernandez supposedly took to sign with Sevilla? It's like a $92,000 a week pay cut. Was that true, or is that just? I
don't know. To be honest, it was all done a little bit on the quiet, wasn't it? Really, it was.
Yeah.
It was. I see when I see it left, I was like, oh, that happened a bit quickly and a bit quietly. It was a bit of a surprise, really.
Gaz, did you hear anything about that?
So I've probably just heard what everybody else has heard from different media outlets and stuff. I mean, I'm not surprised, to be honest. He was on a big wage at West Ham and he wasn't getting played. So if he has to take a pay cut to get what he wants, which is regular football, then I mean, the guy's a millionaire anyway, so it's not like he's going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's going to miss
It's
out
not
on
like he's scratching round a living, is it?
Yeah, he's not stripping to make up the rest of the money. But no, I mean,
No, I know.
Fair play to him.
If you think about it, though, he was on 140 supposedly a week, 140,000. If he's taking what the reports were, he's taking a 92,000 a week pay cut. That's not. I mean, you're right. He already is a millionaire, but there's still different tiers, I guess, of a millionaire. I suppose he won't be living the same lifestyle unless it's cheaper to live out in Spain. I don't know. But that he's only going to be making, what I make a year now. You know what I mean? Like about 30 grand, 35 grand
in a week.
In a week though. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's crazy. You think you break it's bananas. But no, he says he's in the prime of his career, man. He says, listen, I'm at the best level of my career right now. I feel the best, and good on him. I mean, listen, he did some good things for us. Can't take that away from him. I was super excited when we signed to begin with. I'm like, wow, we're signing somebody with that stature. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I used to say, like, when we was doing post-match pint, like before we signed him, he was one of the players I said, I'd like to see him at ours.
West Ham. I've always wanted him as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but he done well for us. He did well.
Do you think we could have got more out of him if we'd have used him correctly?
Yeah, he's not the sort of player that can plays one up up top on his own. He needs to be playing off someone, picking up the scraps in the box. He's a poacher, isn't he? Really, so
he's a little fox in the box, isn't he?
Yeah. So maybe if we played him with a strike partner, I might have got a bit better out of him.
Yeah. Have you heard any like negativity towards him at all? I've generally seen mostly like good wishes, like goodwill wishes or whatever.
Yeah, I can't say that I've seen any negativity towards him. It's like most West Ham players. They don't leave under a cloud. They'll always have the best wishes of the fans.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, like if he ever come back to West Ham with an opposition team, I'm certain he'd get a good reception.
Oh, he'd get a very good reception, I think.
If you if you're looking for negativity, then just go to Twitter. You'll find some negative comments about Chicharito on there leaving. That's where it all resides, in Twitter land. It looks like we got Nicola Meyer in the chat room, and Matt Howard also popped in. Appreciate that, you too. And Mark Noon. Thanks. So what are your thoughts on Graham? What are your thoughts on Declan's performance with England? Did you get to see the match at all, or?
I'll be honest, I did not get to see the game yesterday. I was out running errands yesterday, so I didn't actually get to see it.
Me too. I saw some highlights, but I mean, there wasn't really much of him. But I did see Dan Lawless retweeted some stats of Declan's for the match, and it looked pretty damn impressive, other than the fact that he's a holding midfielder and only had like 3 tackles won the whole match, which is and apparently the commentators, or whatever you want to call them, they were pretty negative toward Declan, but he had like 92% or 96%, something like that, 90-something% pass success rate, and he made a key pass and other things. All the other stats looked fantastic. So
yeah. I mean, the thing, look, it's early on in his international career. He's only played a few games, so I'm sure he'll grow into it. He's got, he's still young. He's he'll get better at international level. It's it doesn't sound like he had a terrible game, like a bad game at all. But I just think with what is it, his 3rd game, 4th game? He can't be too negative this early on in his international career.
You need to also take into consideration like the level of teams that he's played as well. Like he's not gonna what did you say the statistic was? It was only 3 tackles in one game. I didn't get to see the game. I was out with my son and my daughter all day. So
Yeah, I said 3.
Yeah, 3 tackles all game. Well, maybe.
But the thing is, if we've got the ball most of the, like if we've got a lot of the possession, he's not going to have to make loads of tackles, is he?
No, unless he tackles Mason Mount.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you can judge, like when we play somebody like an Italy or Germany where the possession's going to be a bit more equal and you're going to have to do a lot more defending. Then then you can start looking at those stats. Yeah, but you can't judge him on a game where you're going to dominate possession.
Of course not.
You're not going to have to do as much defending.
I don't think he's going to have to, and I don't think he's going to have to worry about anything with his international career. I think he's going to have a fantastic career.
Yeah.
I'm just so sick over it all because there's no Premier League matches, and I wish they would restructure the whole international play. And I hate international breaks more than anything because there's no it breaks up the rhythm. Look, we just won 2 games in a row, 3 if you count the League Cup.
3 in a row, yeah. The League Cup.
And then now we're on a break.
And Villa's not going to. That's not an easy game. That's not going to be an easy game against Villa.
Speaking of Villa, we're going to be doing another opposition match preview, I guess you'd say, with a couple American Villa fans, villains as they like to be called, I guess. We did one with Watford, a guy from Canada actually, who is a Watford supporter. Actually, he's English who lives in Canada, so it wasn't really. It was just chatting with an English Watford fan. But anyway, that went really well. So, and we reached out to a ton of Norwich supporters in the States, and a bunch of flakes. Really, no one really wanted to step up and do it. They said they'd do it, and then they disappeared all the time. Hopefully, this Villa one works out. Did you guys catch? Speaking of Watford, anyway, did you catch David Gold's Twitter response to a fan who was asking him, a Watford fan, asking him to buy the club by Watford?
I saw it today. Actually, I was in my garage earlier and I saw it this morning. So basically, a Watford supporter asked David Gold if he could buy the club because he doesn't like the owners. And David Gold said, I appreciate it, but I'm West Ham till I die.
That's exactly his response.
That was
what do you think about that,
Graham? He's I've been to a few it was at the old ground at Upton Park, where they do the fan forums.
Yeah.
So like Q&A sort of things, and he was at one, and he did say he grew up near the ground, ran near the old ground and used to bunk in and that sort of thing. So
he played for the reserves, didn't he? I swear it was either reserves or youth. I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard that one.
There was a picture of him on Twitter. Somebody tagged him in it and asked him if it was true that he played for West Ham back in the day, and he said yes, that's me. And there's a picture of my bicycle, like my bicycle's in the picture or something.
Yeah.
Oh, and going back to where he grew up as well, I believe he lived in the house number was 442 Green Street, I think, literally right opposite the ground. I think that's where he used to live. Yeah,
he did say it was Green Street.
Yeah, I just watched Iron Man for the first time because I couldn't find a copy of it anywhere online anyway. And yeah, David Gold was actually telling somebody else he was speaking to in that documentary, and he was pointing from the ground, like up top. He was pointing to the house. He's like, "Yeah, this is that house right over there. It's 442."
Oh, yeah, one of my lads who plays for me, he said he played for West Ham Boys, apparently.
Yeah, I just put it up in the chat. Just
Sam Gaylor. Yeah, it's one of my players.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What position does he play?
He plays left wing. He's
left, like Stan Lazaridis, or
he's very good. He's very tricky. Very tricky. Yeah, he does. Nice. He loves a nutmeg.
Nice. Well, thanks for joining, Sam.
I'm going to change it up and bring in we're going to do a couple of Hermes polls. These are kind of fun usually. Just bear with me for a second while I pull it up. Share. I hope. Yeah, good. All right. Let's see. The first one would be. All right. Oh God, this some of these are really good questions, by the way. Some of them are really, really clever and really good, and some of them are just like, super, basic, generic, I guess, or whatever. There's no right answer to them, and whatever. But anyway, Graham, who's the bigger team? Aston or West Ham?
Well, I'll say if you're going on trophies won, it's Villa, isn't it?
It ain't us.
If you're going on trophies won, they've won the European Cup and the league, in the early 80s. So if you're going on the last few years, like league positions and that, and and money and that, then you'd say us. But I'd say if you're going on trophies, it's Villa.
Yeah. Is it?
And I think
true?
they've got a very big fan base, Villa.
They do.
I mean, I think they were filling their ground out last year. They've got a good
massive
following.
Ground. Yeah, they got a massive ground too, and
good following.
It wasn't that difficult for us to actually find American Aston Villa groups. There's a whole slew of them, just like there are West Ham groups here.
I mean, I've got to admit, I've always had a little soft spot for Villa. It's a bit one of those teams I've always quite liked. They're not.
It's probably because of the colours, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, they were like us. They always, they was always known for playing good football as well.
Yeah. So speaking of Aston Villa, I don't know the answer to this, and maybe you do know the answer to this. Who had claret and blue first? I saw them.
Villa.
Villa had it first. And
Villa did.
I believe the story is.
It's funny.
I think the kit men had a bet. There was a race. They had a race or something, and the winner, like if our kit, we got the claret and blue. So I don't know how true that is.
I've heard 3 or 4 different stories that are similar to that, and basically what it all comes down to is we did end up with a set of their kits, one way, shape, or form. I can't remember the exact story, but we ended up with this full set of their claret and blue kits. So they had the colors first, and then we ended up with it, and then we kept it, I guess, and stuck with the colors, which I'm thankful, because I love that color scheme more than anything else. Yeah, but no, I think that's the story I heard.
It was in a bet between the two kit men back in I think it was like early 1900s. So how true that is, I don't know.
It sounds good.
It sounds, yeah.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, guys. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick. Penny says down here that she read that we played them for the kit, so we played them for the kit. Possibly played a game of football. That's what she said that she read. So I'll put it up.
I heard the kitmen stole it. I heard our kitman stole a set of their kits after we played them or something. I know. I mean, I've heard many different stories, but I like that one the best. That he went in and stole their kits, took them back to London. So, Gaz, would you have Jack Grealish in the West Ham current starting 11? And then I'll ask you.
In the current starting 11, no.
Yeah. I'd have him at the club.
I'd have him at the club, definitely. 100%.
Yeah. I like Grealish. He's a good player.
He's a very good player.
Very good player. But who would you?
I'm torn because Yeah, I'm torn.
We've got a good midfield.
Starting 11, I'd say definitely no. Then I mean, I can't picture who.
But definitely at the club.
Unless he can play left back or right back, then I'd throw him in there. But more so right back. But anyway, we'll talk about Fredericks another day. So what will the result be when we play Villa next Monday? Send your predictions and blah, 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 blah. Do you think, it was basically, Graham, do you think West Ham will win, Villa will win, score, draw, or goalless?
I'm going to go for a 2-1 to us.
Ooh. Yeah.
I think it'll be a tough game. It'll be a very tough game, but I think we'll edge it 2-1. But my predictions are useless. So.
I don't see a problem against Aston Villa, to be honest. I think we'll beat them 3-0. I think Alera will score again. I think Lanzini will get a goal, and I think Rice will score as well. I don't know. But I think we'll beat him 3-0. I'm not worried about Villa at all. I ain't worried about Villa, Man United, I think we'll drop points against Bournemouth, but Villa and Man
Yeah,
United.
they're a bit of a bogey side for us, aren't they? Bournemouth at the minute. We don't.
Well, Wilson is a bogey player for us, so if he plays, you know he's going to score.
There's certain players that always score against us. Normally ex-players
too against us. Both our strikers score against us every single time. Joshua King's
Tim, there is a question down here from Ray Borum, and he says, would James Tompkins get in the current starting lineup right now?
Easily over on Bonner? Are you fucking kidding me? That's not even a question. Ray, come on, man.
I'll be honest.
Or just you being nice and letting me say James Tompkins again.
I was gutted when we got rid of Tompkins.
I feel that they just misunderstood what his value really is. And if you look back, obviously hindsight's 2020. I've said this a million times. You look at Reed's injuries and everything else, and Ogbonna's inconsistency. Yeah, Ogbonna had a damn good season at the last season of the Bowl-In. But again, if you see him since, if you look at Tompkins' stats over the last 3 seasons with Crystal Palace, he's scored more goals, he's played more games, he played more minutes. He's even captains a few times, and that's the man right now. When Noble was out the start of this season, that would have been our captain. James Tompkins would have been, or should have been, could have been a captain. Anyway, I don't want to get all upset about it. But I'm gonna say something right now about the Villa match because I'm gonna knock on some wood here. I don't know if I even should say it, but I'm gonna anyway. This is the type of match. This is the type of team that we're gonna be coming up against when our players are on a high, and they're very, very. I can't say not dirty, and they're not Burnley physical. But they're definitely, Dean Smith's a very physical coach, physically minded, defensive minded. I think, this would be the match earlier on in the season where we could lose a player if we're not careful. That's the West Ham way, man.
Antonio's out for a long term, 4 or 5 months.
Yeah,
exactly. That's going to be a big miss for us, Antonio.
I would make definitely. I would make sure if I was Pellegrini that this particular match I would have a solid bench ready to go, and I would not play Yarmolenko a full 90 because this is the type of match that he would get hurt in. This is the type of match Lanzini could get hurt in, etc. And I wouldn't want someone like Allaire who rarely gets hurt. I mean, this is the type of match where I would our players, our superstars, our best players. I would definitely not want to give them a full 90 against Villa. I mean, I know we only get 3 subs, but I would make sure that we have subs to back them up.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to be prepared to battle, I think. Because these are the sort of games, the last few years, these are the sort of games we've struggled in.
Yeah.
But that's been, as long as I've been supporting West Ham, I mean, seeing us lose to teams like Stockport, Grimsby, Wimbledon, Barnsley away. One of the worst. It was funny. It was one of the worst away games I went to, but it was one of the best laughs on the way home. It was the FA Cup 93 FA Cup 4th round away at Barnsley, and we lost 4-1. We just got out battled, but that, like I say, as long as I've been supporting West Ham, these are the sort of games that we would, slip up in.
Yeah, it'll be a big test.
Yeah, it will.
To answer, there's a couple of people. Ray's in the chat room asking if I've ever even reached out to Tompkins to get him on the show. The off season, I tried really hard because once the season gets going, pretty much all players are disallowed from joining current players. They're disallowed pretty much to do nobody shows. You know what I mean? We're nobody.
Unless it's like mainstream media or.
Yeah, they won't allow them to. The media basically they're trapped to the or locked down by the media coordinators and
there's PR teams. So
that happened to us with the West Ham women last year. At the end of last season, we had 4 of the girls willing to come on the show, and including the coach, and all of them were willing. But we had to wait till the season was over before we actually ended up with getting 3 of them on the show, which was awesome. But and then came time for me to ask one of the the head coach Matt Beard to come on the coach, because he actually managed the Boston Breakers over here where I live. Yeah, for the season before he joined West Ham. I wanted to get him on the show so bad, but the media coordinator flat out said no, thank you.
Yeah,
he said no, thank you for Matt, even though Matt was like, yeah, I'll do it. You just gotta go through this guy Mitch. So Mitch, I'm not your biggest fan right now. But anyway, So anyway, long story short, I'd love to have Tompkins on the show, but I'd have to wait, I guess, until the next off season, and hopefully, between now and then, find someone who knows him, because he's not really on social media, and he's on Instagram, but he doesn't really doesn't follow us back, so I can't really reach out to him. Anyway, one day, but if any of you out there know James Tompkins or his mother or uncle or whoever and can get me an in, I'd love to have him on the show. So back to the polls. There was an interesting one. Well, no, we've already asked that 1 million times. Will Allaire score more than 20 goals this season? Where did it go? Did I pass over it?
What did you tell her?
Yeah, so you think Allaire would score more than 20 goals this season? I might as well just ask you.
He certainly looks like he could at the moment. If he can stay injury free, I don't see why not. He looks even in the. I went to the Man City game. He looks sharp then.
Yeah.
He's big, strong lad. So it looks like he can sort of make opportunities for himself as well. So I don't see, if he can stay fit, I don't see why not. Certainly double figures.
I definitely double figures. Yeah, and you're right though. At the pace that he's on, and the way he's playing, and the way the team's playing around him, if they continue that injury free, I think he'll score 30 goals this season. But that just never happens that way.
It's been a while since we've had a striker do that.
Yeah. But he would be the first if we ever have one, for sure. Now I'll start with Gaz on this one. These are two questions I did want to ask. When fit, would Winston Reid get into the starting 11? Gaz.
For me, I'm going to say no. I'm a very big fan of Balbuena and Diop, to be honest. But having said that, like Reid before his long injuries was outstanding, man. He was linked with so many different clubs, like loads, even like Spurs wanted him. Like he was very good. So if it was Winston Reid then possibly yes. But coming back from an injury as bad as his was, and as long as he's been out, then no. No, I agree with Gaz. If it could be the Winston Reid before his injuries, then yes. But like say, Balbuena and Diop, I think they're starting to build a nice little partnership in there.
Yeah.
But like I say, if a player's been out that long and they've had that serious injury, they never come back the same. I hope to be proved wrong. I really do.
I think the same. Just like you, I said the same thing. I'm excited to see that he's making his progress back. I would never wish any ill will towards him. I appreciate everything he's done for us. But at the same time, he will never. I mean, that type of injury. You're never going to be the same. You're always going to be catering to that injury, especially when he gets back into like live play. He's going to be worried about subconsciously like re-injuring that. It's just natural.
I mean, look at Cresswell when he picked up that injury the other pre-season, and he hasn't looked the same player.
No, he hasn't.
When he come back, did he? He looked tentative at times. So it's only natural. It's only natural.
Yeah, I've said the same about Jack Wilshere. I feel like Jack Wilshere, when he plays, I don't think he plays to 100%, and I think he doesn't play because he wants to play it safe to continue being fit instead of playing to his potential and getting injured again. I think unfortunately that's how it'll be for the rest of his career. Yeah.
All right. Last question for the polls anyway is heading into this next match. I mean, after this whole international break bullshit, do you make any changes to the starting 11, or you just keep it the same? Let's start with you, Graham.
I think you've got to stick with a winning winning lineup. So unless a change is enforced on you, but by injury or suspension, I wouldn't change a winning lineup.
What about you guys?
I wouldn't change a thing, mate. Not at all. I'd have as much as I feel like Yarmolenko looks out of breath all the time. I'd still keep him in.
He just looks like that.
He looked like that even before he got injured.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing.
It looks like he ran a marathon. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Every time.
I might mix the bench up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, do you remember Steve Claridge who used to play with Leicester?
No.
And he always looked like his socks were down. He just always looked knackered from minute 1 to 90. He just looked battered. But he'd always bang a goal in.
Yeah.
I think Yarmolenko was just one of them players that will just always look knackered, regardless of how fit he is.
Exactly, and you can see his ability. I love his ability, his natural instinct. I love it. I'm so glad that we have him, and I'm so glad that he's playing, and I'm so glad Antonio's hurt. For that reason, because if Antonio was healthy, Antonio would probably be in the starting line, but not him. And I feel that Yarmolenko's class, ability, and level of class is that of an Anderson, a Lanzini, and Allaire, and not so much Antonio. Antonio's like somewhere in between there and a Snodgrass, ability-wise, talent-wise.
Antonio, he's power, isn't he, Antonio?
I know, man, but that's it. That and pace. It's just, and he's like a wild card, which is fantastic because he'll pull out something absolutely amazing for us. But on a consistent basis through the full 90 minutes, he's not making those amazing passes or those flicks, so that on a consistent basis like Yarmolenko would. 1 second. What?
I can't use that stuff. The stuff won't come out. Can I use this?
What stuff won't come out?
The blocks.
Did you take the whole orange thing out?
I did.
The K-cup? You took the piece out?
Yeah.
And then put another K-cup in. I'm having my son make me a cup of coffee so I don't have to get up out of this interview. Max, come on, buddy. You can do it. You've done it before. All right. Anyway. Sorry, guys. This is my favorite part of the show. Excuse me. The cigarette, too. Jeez. Cough another one. All right. So, yeah, this is the rapid fire time. This is the quick fire questions. Wayne, one of our original, co-hosts and contributors from Dallas. He's actually from Wimbledon area, but he moved out to New York City, now lives in Dallas for like the last 20 years or so. Yeah. He runs the Dallas Hammers. He's an awesome guy. He came up with these questions for us, and we'd like to ask all of our guests, no matter who they are, where they're from, at the end of the show. So first one is first, and that is meat pie or apple pie?
Apple pie.
Apple.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought I was the only British dude that said apple pie.
And that's funny because
I've got a sweet tooth.
Yeah, me too.
We almost changed that question a few times because this was, basically Americans were always saying apple pie and vice versa. But Wayne was like, no, you're gonna get some Englishmen who actually say apple pie and vice versa, and we have. So it works. And just some of these questions might. They're mostly West Ham related, but there'll be a couple thrown in there to throw you off. So don't be like, what? That whole thing, just leave it out and just put the K-cup in the actual thing. So you don't even need to touch that.
Oh.
Yeah, that can just stay out.
Oh.
All right? I need my fucking coffee. I'm sorry. Thank you. Love you, Max. And they won yesterday, man. My boys' team, and he plays for the rec team, doesn't play travel yet, but next year he will. We won like 5-2. It was awesome. It was like my first game actually coaching a winning team. It was great. It was great, man. So anyway, who's your favorite current West Ham player, Graham?
Favorite current West Ham player?
Yeah.
Lanzini.
Nice.
Good one. Yeah. Any particular reason,
I like the way he plays with freedom. It looks like he's having fun while he's playing as well.
That's true.
And he's the the flair player when we bought him, he was the flair player we'd been missing for.
Yeah,
he's the key as well. He's the key. As good as Anderson is, man, Lanzini is the one that does all the strings in the midfield.
Yeah,
that's true. I love it. I'm so happy that we have those people healthy and they're playing up top. I love our attack so much. So who frustrates you the most in our current squad?
Who frustrates me? I find Cresswell very frustrating because I remember how he was the first season for us.
Yeah.
He was fantastic, and he just looks off the pace at the moment. Like, you know, he's sort of 70-80%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I find it, because I know how good he was. So
He
I
was.
find it
And
frustrating.
he was. He
you know?
really was. You know. Yeah, I agree with you. That one doesn't come up that often, but you're right. I guess the top 2 popular answers, because we've done this quite a few times already. These rapid fire questions. Oh, I love you. Yes, dude.
Got his coffee.
He's going to spit it
It's
out. 'Cause
actually
there's no
chai
sugar
tea,
in
but
there.
I love you so much. Thank you so much. Huh?
Where's the keyboard?
What keyboard? I brought it upstairs already. You're all set. Thank you. Love you. All right. It's a chai tea, but he makes a good one.
Like and subscribe. Buy some scarves.
There you go. Like and subscribe and buy some scarves. Good boy. Get him trained well. I didn't even have to get up out of my chair. This is awesome.
You didn't even have to prompt him to say that.
Yeah, but no, the top 2 popular answers are Antonio and Fredericks. Usually. Because again, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. I'll end up in a rant. So here's a good one. FA Cup or top 4 finish?
Seeing as I'm a bit older, I'm going to go FA Cup.
You actually are unanimous with everybody else who's been on the show. I think we've only had one person say top 4 finish.
No. I would say, like I always say on the show, and I always telling me at me, I always say you can't put 4th place in the trophy cabinet.
No.
And I want
Absolutely.
those, because one of my first memories, I remember I was 4, and I remember being down the town hall, East End Town Hall, on my dad's shoulders when they paraded the cup in 1980. So, and I want that again. Not to be on my dad's shoulders, I'll break his back, but but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. That's awesome. Yeah, that was the year I was born, so I don't remember that at all. But I would love to experience that, because literally, I mean, we have a question later on that that ends up being the answer, and I would love to experience that as well. So anyway, what about West Ham do you love?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to. Do you know what? I'm sure fans of other clubs will say the same thing, but there's a. I don't know. It's just a unique atmosphere about around West Ham, about being a West Ham fan. You know, like when you see other, like especially when you're abroad, and you see other, like someone in a West Ham shirt, and you'll go over to each other and start talking about. I don't know. It's just that there's a unique atmosphere around the club. Yeah.
I felt that when I was over there too, though. I would literally search for places like restaurants or pubs with a West Ham flag or a scarf hanging from the window or whatever, and I'd walk in and immediately, family atmosphere. I mean, everybody was just, family. It was awesome. So in one way, shape, or form, everybody who's answered that question usually says either family or the supporters, the something, the atmosphere, the camaraderie, the everything about being a West Ham fan. Yeah. So what about
we're not in it for the glory, are we? You know,
definitely not. But maybe now.
Glory hunters.
No, that's true. And there's a lot of them in America. I can tell you that much. God Almighty. I mean, but it's nice to see that through this show we've unearthed a lot of not just supporters groups, but supporters in areas that don't even have groups, from areas that you wouldn't even imagine, like Clovis, New Mexico. Or, I don't know, just all over the place. Upstate New York. Far up in Maine, we got to support up there too. It's really cool to see all over the states. But anyway, what about West Ham? Do you hate?
What about West Ham? Do you hate? I'm not a massive fan of the stadium. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm not a massive fan.
Yeah.
But that's just because I grew up with the old, like a lot of the older fans.
Yeah.
It's it's like anything. The younger fans will probably appreciate the newer ground more.
Yeah.
But for us old fogies.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a lot different.
Yeah.
All the young fans, they'll make their own memories and highlights over the new ground, but where all my biggest, memories and highlights following West Ham are at Upton Park. So,
guys, you've been to both too, right?
Yes, I have,
Yeah.
mate. Yeah. I agree completely with Graham. I'm not a massive fan of the new stadium. So when I went to England in March, Graham, I got to catch the Huddersfield game.
oh yeah,
And the one thing that I used to love about going to Upton Park is when you walk in, you're walking up the steps to go find your seat, and the stadium opens up to you. You just get. I used to just get this buzz, this energy that used to just kind of just hit me in the chest type of thing.
Yeah.
And when I went to the new stadium, it looked like a massive like tennis court, just with loads of people watching a game of tennis. It wasn't the same for me. I enjoyed the game or whatever because we won. But it just the buzz weren't the same.
No.
The
I know what you mean, though.
Around you.
Yeah, it's like when you come up the steps and you see the glow of you used to see the glow of the floodlights around the around the top, and it was just a unique atmosphere.
Yeah, the supporters have changed a lot as well. I used to, when you look around, you see like families and like loads of drunk people. But when I was at the Huddersfield game, particularly where we were sitting, there was loads of like corporate people. There was like tourists and stuff. I mean, you could tell that they were tourists because like there's like school buses full of them, type of thing. They were eating popcorn and stuff, which is a bit unusual for me. I've never seen anything like popcorn. But do you think the stadium will ever be? Do you think we'll ever own it and we can sort of redo it, rebuild it, or anything?
I don't know. All depends, like with the LLDC, like with what they're like financially, or whether we could have offered to buy it off of them, but then how much are they going to ask for? Is it going to be prohibitive cost-wise? Because I mean, the thing is, if we owned it, then we could start doing money and turn it into a proper
like an actual stadium, like remove the track.
I mean, funnily enough,
make it proper.
I was talking to Nick Tucker the other week, and he went over there for the Yankees Red Sox
game
the other week, and he said it actually works quite well as a baseball stadium.
Yeah, I bet.
Funnily enough.
Yeah. We'll continue with these questions because we just passed an hour, so I don't want to keep you all night. But I definitely enjoy your company, though. That's cool.
It's been great.
What sound makes you happy?
What sound makes me happy?
Yeah.
The cheer from the crowd when the ball hits the back of the net for a West Ham goal.
Nice.
Best answer. I love that one. Yeah. No. That's a good one. We've had a couple inappropriate ones. We've had a couple good ones. I mean, it's very general. Yeah. Well, the next question is, what is your favorite curse word? So,
what's my favorite curse word?
Yeah, what's your favorite curse word?
I do get told off for saying it a lot, and it's not one I can repeat on here.
Does it begin with a C?
It does, yes.
Okay. That's the number one answer. What team do you love to beat?
Tottenham.
Yeah, okay, good. That's the number one answer as well. We have had a lot of Man U just because Man U is a much bigger club. And it's nicer to
Yeah.
The
thing is, I work with a lot of Tottenham fans as well, so when we beat them, it's nice to walk in with a smug look on my face.
I hope that you never, ever in your life ever have to meet an American Tottenham supporter. They are the worst people on this face of the earth. I swear to God, I mean, they are the most disgusting people, the most snotty, most arrogant pieces of shit on this planet. I can't stand them. So I hope you never have to deal with that. But I have. And my blood just boils every time I think about it. So name a player, past or present, that epitomizes West Ham to you.
Billy Bonds.
Nice.
Billy Bonds. Never say die attitude. Billy Bonds, would have run through brick walls for when he was playing. Put everything on the line.
Bring that back up for a second, Gaz.
The Hong Kong one.
Yeah. I've actually reached out to the Hong Kong Hammers and released one of their social media pages and asked if they would do the show, and they absolutely said yes. It's just they're, I think, literally 13 hours ahead. I think exactly 13 hours ahead. So the logistics are kind of tricky, but we're going to figure it out. We would love to have one of them on, and there's a lot of expats, in that group. so I wouldn't have to brush up on my what they Mandarin. I mean, I don't know what they, but yeah, I would try to. Yeah. So yes, would love to have maybe Dom, your son, or whoever from that group. Would love to have them on the show. We've had Neil from South Australia. We've had Luis from Hammers Brazil on our show. We love reaching out to. We've had Ray and Stuart and a bunch of other guys from the UK who are just regular West Ham supporters from the UK. I mean, we would love to showcase everybody. Just everybody get an opportunity to get heard. So yeah, we're working on it. So my favorite question is the last question here on the rapid fire, which is not really so rapid this evening. Was Lee around? Lee. If you could take a time machine back to experience anything to do with West Ham, when and where would it be?
I think I'd like to go back 1980 Cup final, because my dad and my uncles went and they tell me that is one of the best atmosphere they've ever been involved in with West Ham. He said the atmosphere that day was just, it made the hairs on the back of your neck stand up and tingle. So I'd love to go back and see that. Yeah, actually go to the game, actually be at Wembley.
Definitely. No, that's probably the most popular answer. We've also heard the White Horse final. We've also heard the '66 World Cup, because it technically had something to do with West Ham. And I mean,
65 Cup Winners' Cup final might be a good one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but that's our favorite question. And listen, Graham, I really appreciate your time. I hope you had fun.
I did. I've had a great time. Thanks for having me on.
Definitely. There's been a lot of love in the chat room for you as well. So feel free to go ahead and watch back and click on the live chat. You can read all the comments and stuff like that. People are dying to get you back on there. I can't wait to see more post-match pints and maybe get you in there as well. And
I'll get on for a few this year.
Yeah,
2 more this year.
Yeah, definitely. One of my first experiences with West Ham media, I mean, it was watching post-match pint. I mean, and I thought that you guys, I didn't realize that you guys were just regular dudes in the beginning. When I first started following you, I thought you guys had literally, you were part of the club. Like you were just. Because that's how professional it looked. But at the same time, you guys were real. You were like my neighbors or my best friends. You know what I mean? And that's how a lot of your supporters and your fans, your viewers, subscribers, that's how they feel. They feel like you're one of us, and that's the way it is. You guys really are. And
thanks for kind words. Thank you.
And
I mean, we like to we like it to be saying what everyone else is thinking. You probably all have the same conversations as we do after a game, or.
100%. Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's and you guys are, you never, it's a great mix of characters too, because you don't necessarily always, agree with each other. So it's not like Watch the Sky and you're just hearing or Match the Day and you're just hearing someone, one-sided, someone's one-sided opinion. You're getting a mixture of opinions, and it's never the same. It's awesome. I love it. So you guys were an inspiration. And, it wouldn't if it wasn't for you guys and Hammers Chat and all the other, everybody else really. But especially you guys, you were the first ones I ever watched. So and stuck with. So there wouldn't be American Hammers TV. So thank you.
Keep up the good work with the American Hammers.
I appreciate that, man. And we'd definitely love to have you back. We'd love to have Scott back and everybody else at some point.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I'd love to come back on.
Yeah. Real quick, I just got to mention, thanks to Gaz as well for being on here today with me. I really appreciate that. I love chatting with you, man. I got to mention, please, everybody who's watching this, if you haven't already, help us out by buying a scarf. Just go to our website, which is AmericanHammersTV.us, and click on the PayPal link to buy a scarf. We're going to be ordering them tomorrow, so if you want to get in that batch of orders for the scarves that are being placed tomorrow. Tonight would be the night to order one, really, or tomorrow morning. Also, we have T-shirts like this one. It says, American Hammers TV, and then on the back says West Ham United supporters over land and sea. We also have another one of these with just our logo on it. You can buy those as well. Just go to our website. There's links to that. 20% of the t-shirt money goes to 2 different charities, which is cool. 100% of the scarf money goes to the channel, helping us, buy things for the channel, like the website, all this other stuff, and SoundCloud, and all these things that we have to purchase. So anyway, drinkweardesign.com. Guys, thank you so much. People in the chat,
No
PJ,
problem, my man.
I definitely see you popping in there. And Dom, thanks for coming in. Forever Blowing Bubbles. I always see you in there. I really appreciate it. Anybody else I missed? Not really. I mentioned everybody else that was in the chat room. So thank you guys so much. Graham, I'm going to talk to you for just a second off the air.
Yep.
You as well, guys. Come on, you arms.